Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you where all of the new construction communities that are still currently selling in the Tradition area, as well as a bonus community that is still in the early stages of development. And also I'm going to be covering proximity with these communities to things like restaurants, grocery stores, and upcoming developments. I do this a lot for people that have not been to Port St. Lucie and don't really understand the layout of the area, where I basically would just whip out the Google Maps and kind of show them where everything is, answer any questions they have, and pretty much just give them an idea of where everything is in Port St. Lucie before we tour the communities. This really has helped buyers out a lot, and that's why I figured putting this in a video would also help you a lot, especially if you haven't been to this area before. So hopefully this helps you get a better feel for Port St. Lucie. So if you see me looking down or looking at my screen, that's because you are following along with me on my screen going through Google Maps of Port St. Lucie to kind of show you the area. And before we get started, if you already know that you are going to be visiting Port St. Lucie and visiting any of these communities, please do contact me so that I'm able to go with you on your first visit. Most builders in the area have a policy where the realtor you are working with has to be present at the first visit. And even if you don't know if Port St. Lucie is officially where you are moving, if you are still willing to commit the time to visit to Port St. Lucie and visit these communities, I'm absolutely willing to give that time as well to be there on those tours and answer any questions that you have about this great city. But all right, now we're going to get started with the video. And now we are over to Google Maps, where I'm starting off with an overview of all of Port St. Lucie right here. The other popular suburb a lot of people look into is St. Lucie West, and that's where PGA Village is, this big triangle here. The communities we're going to be covering start just southwest of PGA Village and work all the way down south to Becker Road, and this is the whole Tradition area that we'll be covering in this video. So as we zoom in, the first communities we're going to cover here, we're going to be starting north and working our way all the way down south. The first communities we're going to be covering here are going to be directly off of the Crosstown Parkway Road, which is a big road heading through Port St. Lucie from all the way west to east to US 1. And you can even see down here that they are extending this road. That is a current expansion project that's going on to get to Rangeline Road, and we'll cover more in depth throughout this video and throughout multiple videos because this expansion is really huge. Crosstown is a great road to have heading west and east through Port St. Lucie, especially for the communities we're about to cover here. So the communities that are directly off of Crosstown in this area are going to be Central Park, Astor Creek, and PGA Verano. PGA Verano and Astor Creek are both Coulter Homes communities. Astor Creek is a newer community that just hit a year old and has 900 home sites. They are currently at about 10% occupancy after their first year. They have their own golf course that has been open for a year, and the clubhouse and restaurant are still under construction and are set to open by April of 2025. PGA Verano has very similar floor plans to Astor Creek, with them both being Coulter Homes communities. The main difference here is that PGA Verano does not have its own golf course. Instead, there is a passageway right here inside of the community that brings you to the PGA Village Golf Club, where you would have access to 3 championship level courses. And then Central Park is directly in front of both of these communities and is right off of Crosstown Parkway. And this is a very interesting community that has 5 builders within it. You have D.R. Horton, Lennar Homes, Ryan Homes, Miranda Homes, and Taylor Morrison. They all have designated lots, and this community is set to have about 1,100 homes when it's all said and done. And they also have rentals inside this community as well called the Alton. And currently right now there isn't much in this area, but you are in a great location just in between Tradition and St. Lucie West, where all of the retail and restaurants are. However, there is a development happening right here on this. It's about 2.5 acres of land. They're about to put 2 restaurants and a retail plaza here that's already leased out pretty much. I don't have the exact brands that are going in here, but there is going to be a liquor store, a pizza shop, as well as another restaurant. And then right here next to this Circle K, they are also building another retail and shopping plaza directly next to that. So you'll have these 2 new construction plazas that are set to be done in the next year to 2 years. Then if you just head a little bit more in Crosstown, you'll see you have the Publix at Verano. This is also where you have a 7-Eleven, the Publix liquor store, and Publix. So with the Publix already being there off of Crosstown, you close proximity to grocery stores, and you, like I said, you're right in between St. Lucie West and Tradition in this area, and obviously the future developments that are happening already. One final development over here you'll see is the Legacy High School, which is currently under construction as well. Now, if we head back to Village Parkway, which is going to be the main road all throughout Tradition, heading north and south, We're going to head south of Village Parkway to West Cliff Lane. And this is our next community. If you head west, is going to be Esplanade. And that's going to be this entire section right here. This is a 55 and older community by Taylor Morrison. And there's about 500 home sites in this community, with about half of them already being sold. And the amenity center, as you see right here, is already finished. So the amenities of this community are fully open and ready to go. As you can see, we had to go a little bit west off of Village Parkway. There is no commercial developments happening really in this area. You're kind of tucked away with Esplanade, but you have easy access to get to the square, whether you're going Tradition Parkway, which would be this road right here to get to the square, or heading back to Village Parkway like the way we came to get to the square. And also you'll be able to take West Cliff to get back to those developments as well. So you're tucked away, but it's still, you're probably less than an 8-minute drive to getting any retail from this area. Okay, now heading back on West Cliff to Village Parkway, we're going to continue heading south through Tradition to our next communities. So if you go, this is the main intersection of Tradition right here. You have the 95 exit to Tradition Parkway and Village Parkway. And this is where Tradition Square is, the Fresh Market, the Target Plaza. This is where the main retail and restaurants are right now, as well as right here where you have our more fast casual restaurants. Well, the next two communities are going to be just west off of Tradition Parkway. If you go all the way out here, it's a 7-minute drive, because I've driven this multiple times. And the two communities we're going to have here, this is going to be Seville, and this is going to be Cadence. These are both Madame Homes communities that offer very different things for different clients. The Cadence community also sells townhouses along with single family homes. And inside of Seville, you are only going to find single family homes. The Seville community is the most amenity driven of the Madame Homes communities inside of Tradition. They just recently opened their beach resort style pool, and they are currently working on the other amenities getting opened as well. I did do a separate video on the Seville community if you want to check that out. Now, something that's been very popular with the Cadence communities is the opposite, is the fact that they don't have amenities. So if you're more interested in having a lower HOA because you know you're not going to use the amenities, this has been a big draw for the Cadence community. And a big perk for both of these communities being Madame Homes communities, and with Madame being in charge of the Tim shuttle, they have built an entire Tim lane pretty much that's going to be going all the way out to this community and have its own separate lane, so it's not interfering with traffic. But this is also big for people that don't want to have to deal with traffic and don't want to have to drive to places like the square or all throughout Tradition, which I know Tim Shuttle, they're trying to make very big in Tradition. I think they're adding 20 more shuttles within the next year. So they're really trying to put a lot of resources and money into the Tim Shuttle so that that can reduce the traffic in Tradition. And another development that's happening in this area is this pile of dirt right here, and that's going to be the Tradition Regional Park, which I've covered in a separate video. And this is where you're going to have sports fields, event lawns, and a BMX track. It's going to be a really great project for families and for people that are looking for recreational sports in the future. Now, heading back east to Village Parkway, we're going to start heading more south again. Let me just back a little bit. Okay, we're going to be heading more south here. And this is where we're going to hit our next three communities that are going to be all 55 and older communities for these next three. These two properties are directly behind each other. You have Telaro right here, which is a Madame Homes community of about 450 homes. And then you see this massive plot of land here. This is all Riverland. This is about 4,000 homes right here, because each Riverland community has around 900 to 1,200. And these are the four that we currently have. They do own more of this land. And then there is another builder down here that we're going to cover in a second. And then the other 55 and older community will be Webb, and that's this area right here. They're actually on their last phase, and they just have this last little bit that's being sold currently. But as far as developments that are happening in this area, if you see this pile of dirt that is right here, this is currently under construction, and this is the shops at the heart of Tradition. This is where you're going to find the 73 square foot metallic heart sculpture, which is almost finished, by the way, and it looks awesome. And they're also going to have the Aldi grocery store right here. That's huge. They're going to have a new Kyle G's restaurant, multiple restaurants inside of this plaza. It's going to be an awesome project to have right here in the center, especially around these communities, just so people don't always have to go to Tradition Square. And this development is going to be open early 2025. So that's a great project that we're going to have in this area, and definitely big for these communities over here as well. And this pile of dirt here, they just broke ground, and this is going to be the Riverland Center Plaza, where you're going to have a Publix and a couple of standalone restaurants and retail attached to this as well. This will be really big for not only just Riverland people taking their golf carts, because I know that's what they're all going to do, and that's going to help a lot of traffic on the roads, but also right here with Del Webb, you can see that they're already putting their road in so that they'll also have access to this. And then obviously Telaro will also have their access to this road at some point right here. I forgot to mention it. One big perk of Telaro being next to the Shops of the Heart Tradition is that that is a Mattamy Homes project, and Telaro is a Mattamy Homes community. So they've already rumored that they are planning on putting some type of gate or crosswalk for residents to be able to just walk directly to this plaza. And another benefit to being in this area as well is this road between these three communities is called Community Boulevard. There is virtually no commercial traffic on this road at all. It's just residential neighborhoods off of it. And it's almost like an off-road where there's still 2 lanes each side, and then you have Village Parkway going the same direction, but you have virtually no traffic on this road. So that'll be a big perk having the Riverland Plaza over here for all of these communities. Now, if we head back down south on Village Parkway, you'll see there is a bunch of land here in front of the Del Webb community down here and right here next to Heron Preserve. This area right here is going to be the Stars and Stripes Park. That development is currently under construction and will be open early next year as well. And the farther we head down south on Village Parkway, you see obviously there's a bunch of vacant land here in the Tradition area, and there's been a few purchases within the last year of developers buying up this land, and they have big plans for it, which I'll obviously be covering on this channel in more depth. The entertainment district that I do reference a bunch on my channel is going to be in this area as well. So like I said, I'll keep you updated on any new developments that I hear for that area. But as far as the next community we're going to touch on is going to be right here off of Village Parkway. So this is Del Webb, and that's the new side gate for the final phase. There's also another community right here, and this is Kenley. This is a Mattamy Homes community. It's only 214 homes. It's very small, and this is actually very similar to the type of buyer that's looking in Cadence. Usually people, if they're looking in Cadence, they're also comparing it to Kenley. They're both lower HOA and less amenities, but in smaller communities. Okay. And one of the last communities we have here is just all the way at the end of Village Parkway and Becker Road. So you have the interstate right here, and you can see a little bit of the development here. This is Belterra. This is a GHO homes community of 300 home sites, and each home comes with a pool. It's probably the most custom-like builder that we have in this area that's within a community. They have a very extensive list of structural options, design options that you can go through. They're still in phase 1, so they're still selling the first 150 homes. It's only been open for about a year and a half, but that's a great option to have over here, and we'll touch it since it's showing up here. Encore at Tradition just opened this year, and it's a 55 and older rental community with very high-end amenities. It's a very, very nice rental community. If you are looking to build in Riverland or even build in Belterra, you don't have to be building in a 55 and older to live in here for the year, but it's definitely a great spot if you are like, they have their own bar and restaurant and small like movie room, putting greens. Like they have a bunch of cool stuff at Encore. So just an option for you if you are thinking about like building in Belterra or anywhere in Tradition really. And then some future developments currently right here in front, like this plot of land in front of Kenley and the final phase of Del Webb, they are already cleared it, and they are starting construction on a couple of plazas, retail plazas and restaurants that are going to be right here in this area. I know there is a big project that is supposed to be happening right for this final plot here as well. And I've heard that there could be one that's very similar to the Heart of the Shops of Tradition that's also going to be down here. So again, I will have more details on that and obviously share it on this channel. And the final community that we're going to touch on is kind of like the bonus community that we don't have too much information on, but I do kind of want to start planting the seed to where if you're just, planning for the future and just seeing where Port St. Lucie is heading, this road here, Becker Road, as you can see, it's been extended out to nothing, right? Like there's nothing over here. Well, a lot of this land here, and I don't know the exacts, but Akel Homes, if you're familiar with that builder, they've bought a lot of this land, and they plan on putting a massive community in this area at the end of Becker Road. They even paid to have this road extended themselves and are planning, just from what I hear, The owner has huge plans for this area, putting thousands of homes in this area. The community as of now is going to be called Sundance. And last time I checked, they broke ground on just kind of getting the foundations ready for the community so that they can start building. And they're already bringing certain oak trees and palm trees into this area for the entranceway. So there are certain things started, but nothing's for sale. There's no pricing, floor plans, things like that. But I was literally in Westlake touring about 6 months ago with a buyer, and we went to Akel Homes in Westlake. And as soon as I said I was from Port St. Lucie, the sales rep at the models was like, "Oh, we just bought up a bunch of land in Port St. Lucie not too long ago. I know they're very excited for what they're going to do in that area and put thousands of homes." So from my understanding, he has ideas to make it like a tradition-like setup where it is going to feel like its own city or own little town. Like I said, that's a little bit further in the future, but just want to kind of show you guys where tradition is heading. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you're able to gain some value from this video and have a better feel for where everything is located inside of tradition as far as the new communities and some of the developments go. Again, if you do plan on visiting this area, just email me and I'd be happy to coordinate the showing with you so that I am there for your first visit at these communities, and I'm available to answer any questions that you may have on these new home communities. And as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to making more videos for you and helping you along with your home search. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.